Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. Today, we are going to be taking a look at something that I know is super exciting.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're all super excited to learn about Power Query formulas in Excel, specifically the Type.AddTableKey function.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. This is a real game changer in terms of how we work with data, whether it's for, getting that promotion or, just being able to organize that, massive family budget spreadsheet or whatever project you're working on.
Right. It can definitely feel like a superpower once you know how to use it. So I've pulled up the official definition here.
Okay, yeah.
Just to kind of give us a starting point. It says, Type.AddTableKey. Table is type, columns is list, is primary as logical, as type. It adds a key to a given table type. I get the basic idea, but I'm a little fuzzy on the details,
Yeah, so essentially, a key in a database table, it's like a unique identifier for each row, kind of like, how a social security number identifies a person.
Oh, okay. And this is super important for organizing your data and creating relationships between different tables, and also for lookups, which we can get into later. Yeah.
Yeah, so if we had a list of students, each with their unique ID number, we could easily find all the information about that student, their grades, their attendance, all that, just by looking at their ID.
Exactly. It's a very powerful concept once you wrap your head around it.
So let's dive into that syntax a little bit. What's with the table as type and columns as list, and is primary as logical? What's all that about?
Sure. So basically, table as type, that just specifies which table you're working with. Simple enough, right?
Okay.
Now, columns as list, that tells the function which columns you want to use to create your unique key. So this could be one column or a combination of multiple columns. It all depends on how you need to identify your data.
Okay, so you might have a column for a student ID, or maybe you need to combine first name and last name to get that unique ID. Makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have is primary as logical, which is a fancy way of saying, is this the main key for this table? The primary key, the most important one, it's a simple true or false.
Okay, so like in a school database, the student ID would probably be the primary key.
Exactly, you got it.
So it's all about setting those relationships and connections between different pieces of information.
Exactly, that's the beauty of it. It's not just about organizing, it's about making your data work for you.
Okay, so all that makes sense, but I gotta admit, I always get a little confused about that whole type as type thing. Could you break that down a little bit further for our listeners?
Sure. So every piece of data has a type, like text, number, date, whatever. And specifying the type helps Power Query handle different data structures correctly,
Oh, okay.
Think about it. You can't really add a date to a word, can you? But you can calculate the difference between two dates, so Power Query needs to know what it's working with. That's all.
Right. It all comes back to structure and making sure the data is organized in a way that makes sense. So I'm getting the syntax, but what's a real world example? How does this actually help us in, day-to-day work?
Let's say you're working with that spreadsheet of customer data that we talked about earlier. You've got names, addresses, purchase history, the works. Now let's say you want to see all the purchases made by a specific customer, someone named, John Smith.
Okay.
Without a unique identifier, you'd have to go through every row manually looking for every instance of John Smith. It would be, a nightmare.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
But if you use Type.AddTableKey to create a unique customer ID column, boom, now you can instantly pull up all of John Smith's purchases just by searching for his customer ID.
Okay, so it's like having a personalized search engine for your spreadsheet.
Precisely. It's about leveraging those relationships between your data to make it work for you.
So I'm sold on the idea, definitely see how it can be helpful, but wouldn't it be really time consuming to set this up, especially if you're dealing with a massive data set?
That's the beauty of Power Query. A lot of it is automated. Once you've defined your key, you can apply it to the whole data set with just a few clicks. You're not doing it all manually.
All right, so we've learned what Type.AddTableKey does, how it works, and why it's valuable for, anyone working with data in Excel. Like we said before, it really does feel like a superpower.
Exactly. And remember, this is just one of many powerful formulas in Power Query. There's a whole world of data manipulation tools out there just waiting to be discovered.
So it's about taking that next step in your data analysis journey, really understanding the structure and the relationships within your data.
Exactly. And who knows what kind of insights you might uncover along the way. You could use this to analyze trends in your sales data or track the performance of different marketing campaigns. The possibilities are endless. But here's something to think about. We talked about how keys create relationships between data, but what about relationships between different data sets? How can we connect information from completely separate sources using these same principles? That's something to explore on your own. See what you can discover.
Awesome stuff. I'm excited to dive in and play around with this myself. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
Of course, always a pleasure.
And thanks to all of you for joining us on another deep dive. Catch you next time.